Round one. Fight.
Okay. Thank you for coming in and watching this video. This is the second episode of the third part episode series that I'm doing called Diary of an Old Gamer. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the FGC. Now, mind you, I'm not going to go through the whole history of the FGC. There's plenty of videos about that. In this video, I'm just going to be discussing basically my contribution and as well as my team contribution to the FGC from 2008 when Street Fighter 4 came on the scene all the way up to 2018. The Fighters Alliance was trying to make a name for itself and trying to become one of the best grassroots esports teams in the fighting game community at that time. So that's what this video is focusing on. We're going to start off with just talking about from 2008, Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 came in. It was wonderful. It was good. It revitalized the fighting game community from the dark ages. And they even had a GameStop tournament as far as national tournament. People came around to play in the national so then they can get shipped out to or fly out to San Diego or San Francisco for the finals. And as you can see in this picture right here, top 8 or top 16 had a lot of household names in it. But then after that, people start going to tournaments more because of GameStop, because of Capcom, because of Street Fighter 4. More and more people was coming to tournaments. People was coming out of retirement. New blood was coming, and at that time, Michigan, we felt like we wanted to make a name for ourselves. And what I mean by making a name for ourselves, a lot of us started putting content on YouTube.
Rage quit. You rage quit. You cannot beat me, so you go and rage quit. Rage quit. This is J Legend. Please don't rage quit. I'm asking you nicely not to rage quit. But you decide to be a bitch and rage quit.
At this time, YouTube started in 2006, and then at this time in 2008, 2009, it was stabilized, and a lot of us start putting content as far as sets and bread and butter combos, tutorials. And then one thing I will say, Michigan, a lot of us from Michigan pretty much was putting the most content on YouTube. Not saying that we were the only ones. I'm just saying we were one of the main ones that were putting a lot of content on YouTube when it came to Street Fighter 4.
That is easy to believe. What is it with these guys, man? What did you say? Just say, forget it, I quit now? That's the new thing nowadays, is to quit on you?
We had sets upon sets of footage of sets on sets on sets on YouTube. I mean, it was from me, D-Dog, Free One Up, TKK. All of us are in Michigan, and all of us didn't even know each other at the time. We heard of each other, but and a lot of us didn't know each other like that. And it was like, and we were shocked that all of us came from the same region. We was like, wow. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't just Michigan. But for the most part, the majority of the sets that were being posted online was from us. And then on top of that, you had, from the South, you had La Swaga, you had Lupasan, and you had, Dayasha was in New York at the time, but he was moving down to Florida. But he was putting up sets. And that, us putting up sets, we didn't know that laid the foundation for one of the best, and I do mean this with my whole heart, one of the best programs that ever come out and represented the FGC seriously, which is the excellent adventures of Mike Ross and Gutex.
Like, tell me how much your wife comes home to you because of me. That's what he's telling these people.
Hey, Brad, stop. No. That ain't true. I don't feel myself on those levels.
Mike is like...
That weekly show on YouTube was everything at that time. So 2009, going into 2010, we saw people, who was going to locals, and people who was getting good at our locals, in Michigan locals, and then they would go to regionals, they would go to the regions, they would go to either New Jersey, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Indianapolis, Chicago, in Midwest to the Northeast. And then it was like we start noticing people like planning up or joining a clan or becoming a clan, becoming teams. And this region had their team. That region had their team. Empire Arcadia was always there. But then we saw another team come out of nowhere called Dominion Method Gaming, DMG. And they were signing people from here, from there, and there. And they had their team. And then we from Michigan was like, yo, everybody clanning up, you know what I'm saying? We need to do something. And then on our YouTube videos, on D-Dog's YouTube page, on Free One Up page, even on my page, people was like, hey, y'all need to form a team. What are y'all doing? Everybody else forming a team. Why y'all not forming up a team in Michigan? And I did on my video, I was like, don't worry, we forming a team. We're forming a team. It's coming. It's coming. And then in 2010, we just had to sit down on a powwow and be like, look, let's make a team. Before TFA and during the first half of TFA, I was also interviewing people. The fighting game community now, as it is right now.
I think it's actually growing a lot bigger because you can tell it's growing bigger because there's a lot of teams now.
So I would interview people. I interviewed tons of people, bro. I interviewed a bunch of people for in the fighting game community, the FGC, to get their thoughts, their viewpoints. Let them talk about their experiences in the fighting game community. Players, TOs. There wasn't really that many streamers back then. We just put up content. There was content creators, FGC content creators, and it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Round 2. Fight.
So, in 2010, actually June 2010, Father's Day, the Fighters Alliance, TFA, was created. We were created at a Golden Feather restaurant.
Get a heads up on the whole shebang. I don't remember everybody being at this party. At this shit, but I can tell you the exact time of reference when the Fighters Alliance happened. Sheldon and I was talking, I believe with Lord Hollow. No matter what I did, I was like the Midwest dude. At a tournament, everybody knew who I was.
It's your boy from True Town, playing them 1, playing them 2. And what's the shit so hard? It was like really one of them. I don't give a fuck. Hey, when Hulk Hogan won the world belt upside down, people still cheering for his bitch ass.
I was the Cookie Monster, Mr. Chips Ahoy. I was the dude. I was the hype man of the Midwest.
Yeah, some crazy stuff. Walking past, and I just realized what McDonald's do to a motherfucker when they ain't supposed to eat it. Shit, old folk die, go knock the fuck out from the McDonald's. Look at this shit. That's what the itis would do. That's that McDonald's shit. Don't come over here in that McDonald's.
I'm hype at Chicago events, Indianapolis events, Detroit events. I don't think I've been to no Ohio events, but yeah, I was the dude. I was the loudmouth. I'm hype, energetic, all that. I was a brand. Chauncey True fucking talent. Mr. Chips Ahoy, the Cookie Monster, put you in the Cobra. This is before I put people in the Cobra. Before I put you in the Cobra, this is way before that. I believe Sheldon realized this, that, hey, we need a loudmouth to promote the group.
Chauncey, I was like, Chauncey, you got to be our PR person. You got to be the PR person. Everybody in the FGC like you. You got charisma, personality, PR. He's like, all right.
So I believe Sheldon, seeing so many groups being made at the Empire Arcadia was taking over. He was already the team with the team. So Sheldon decided to, hey, let's make a group, do this and this and that. And I can tell you the people that was at the event. We're at the Michigan Masters. We decide to leave the event to go across the street and get food. I believe it was Father's Day.
So we was like, we need to form a team. So we formed a team, TFA. And I remember after we formed the team, after we ate that wonderful, delicious barbecue.
And they only had 3 items on the menu. Some ribs, some roasted chicken, pork chops. Bro, I don't eat pig. I can't eat seafood. But I ate the roasted chicken. So sitting there, where it's me, who I can all remember, Sheldon, I believe maybe Lord Hollow, Antoine Ortiz, Juice, God bless the dead, miss you, Buffy, Wolf Crone, yeah, D-Dog. D-Dog was there. D-Dog was there. Hody, Octopus on Fire, miss you motherfuckers, Q, and my kid's mother. Cause we had a whole table and everything. We had the biggest table. We had the biggest table, and like everybody got ribs, and everybody made fun of me and my kid's mom because I think she just went plant-based. Well, we kept it like shows. Say, hey, I'm gonna bring this group together. Woo, woo, woo. We're gonna have people from this part of the state, that part of the state, and then I believe Sheldon says, let's make a name. And then Antoine Ortiz constantly said, Murder Midden! Murder Midden! I don't care! Murder Midden! And I'm like, yo, and I'm over here thinking like, yo, man, we can't go with Murder Midden, dog. That is not corporate friendly. And 2, what if we get people out of the state, out of Michigan? And then Sheldon came up and said, yo, we're not going Murder Midden. We can come with a different name, but not Murder Midden, because if I get somebody from Japan or Florida or Europe, they don't know what the midden is.
We went back to the game yard, and I sat down with Antoine, and I was like, so who is leading this? Like, who's the leader? And he looked at me and said, you. And I was like, me? I'm not a leader. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, you brought this together. I was like, I helped bring it together. This was everybody a consensus thought, you know what I'm saying? I was like, but you was the most vocal. I was like, Antoine, no, I'm not a leader. I felt like Ultra Magnus in the Transformers movie. And then he was like, nah, this is you. And I was like, what about you? He was like, me? I'm a player. I'm a professional player. I don't got time for that. You got time for all this. So I said, okay, all right.
At the time, I like no cap. I'll tell you, I busted my ass social media wise. Social media, I watched every event. I stayed up all night to make sure of that. But the day of that, the group being made, we didn't have a real name. And the name didn't come until later as the Fighters Alliance. And I used to be like, yo, are we FA? And he was like, no, we're TFA. And I'm like, duh. The shouldn't be the first words. But it wasn't my group, but I just looked at it like, yo, man, the Fighters Alliance, cool. But TFA, like, I don't know. That used to give me a lot, just the word the being part of the initial grouping. It's like, I always thought the shouldn't be capitalized, just like Always Godlike. The original group name was fucking Always Godlike, and then they dropped fucking out of the group. One dude, shout out to John Kazi, but he dropped the fucking out of it because 1, it doesn't sound corporate friendly, sponsorship friendly, and 2, it's spelled out FAG. And so I can understand why Sheldon did not want to have FA, like free agents, no Fighters Alliance. But I can understand why he did the Fighters Alliance, like TFA instead of FA, because anybody see it, they see FA, they think free agents.
As far as main players goes, we had Antoine Ortiz, Alucard.
Be Sagat's ass, because it's kind of hard to fight that nigga with Raw, with Sagat. I ain't gonna lie. I'm serious, though. How you gonna say
Wolf Chrome, and then eventually, a couple months after that, we realized Perfect Legend was a free agent who was like, he's a free agent. He's not with MP anymore. I was all right, join up with us. So he joined up with us. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hi.
That was horrible.
Hey, it's not my sound.
And then we also asked, and then we noticed Banana Ken was coming to the locals at that time, and I was like, he lived here? Didn't know he was a student at Michigan State University. So then we asked him to join. Gentlemen, we just talked to Banana King. He's part of the TFA, the Fighters Alliance. How you feel? Feel good? Feel great?
It's pretty good. Sounds TFA sounds like fun. Sounds like they had some pretty awesome plans. So,
then we had other players, you know. We had Weapons Left.
Plus, I was like the hub for Grand Rapids. Like Grand Rapids had a fighting game community.
We had Octopus on Fire. We had Holdy. We had Tessa Kills. We had, and then we started venturing out. And then we started venturing out to the Midwest. Then eventually we got, I think later on not in 2010, but then a year later, we was able to get German Luger and Jody the Great from St. Louis. And since since I was becoming the leader or the managing director of this esports community team, I had to do sponsorship. So I did sponsorship decks. You know, I created a deck and pretty much sent it to plenty of companies, you know, corporations. Yeah, I was everywhere. I was sending it to everybody, everywhere, everything. I was sponsor. And here's, it was just fun. At that time, it was new, and we was on the precipice. As not only TFA, but a lot of sports, you know, esports grassroots teams at that time was on the precipice of something brand new, something bold, something very entertaining, and a lot of us didn't know what we were doing, but we were trying.
I'm gonna be blunt with you. We didn't do enough. For the Fighters Alliance, that's with grabbing sponsors, we didn't market enough. There's a reason why deals didn't move. We wasn't pushing that shit. We was like most rappers. We got the contracts and we didn't say shit after that.
But other than that, you know, it was good times at that time.
And my kid's mother, she would be with me at most of the tournaments, almost every tournament. And she made sure, like, say some chick was there with her dude, she'll notice if that's their first tournament or not, and go chop it up with them, hand them some books, and give them a rundown with stuff. So Sheldon knew I'm there at tournaments, and he knows that I can help out a lot by throwing high fives, promotion, and plus my kid's mother, she made sure that, say somebody girl was there, she'll say, hey, let's go get something to eat. They'll go out and get something to eat. Hey, let's go shopping. And they'll go shopping. Hey, you ever done this, and that? She'll chop it up with them and make sure all the ladies will be good.
So now we got the team. We're established. And at this time, we're trying to make a name for ourselves.
Now it's over. How do you feel about that? Well, at least the internet knows.
We're playing people online. We're playing people offline. We're playing people at tournaments. And those are locals, our regionals, our majors. We're feeling good about ourselves, and we're doing a thing. And then also during this time, you know, some players came, some players left, but it wasn't until the end of December 2011 where I felt that, and then also at the same time, I'm still trying to find sponsors. So it was at this time in December 2011 where it kind of changed for me, where I felt like we established and we got a sponsor that we was trying to hunker down for a whole year, and we finally got it. All right.
But yes, what is the big announcement, Shelton? Let's talk about what is great happening for TFA. You told me that this is going to change the fighting game community. Now that's a pretty bold statement. So tell me how you're going to back that up.
Well, this company has been watching and been in the folds looking into the fighting game community and was wondering if they should take a shot at it. They actually did, and I've been talking to them for over a year now. And as of today, the Fighters Alliance is sponsored by Razer.
Razer, okay.
Round 3. Fight.
So now we sponsored by Razer. We're excited. You know, all that hard work from it was like a year of going back and forth from 2010 through going into 2011, all the way to the end of 2011. It was hard work. We were working hard to get the sponsorship, and we nailed it. And it was me. I was like, we're gonna turn the whole world of FGC upside down, because we're going to be the first team, the first grassroots esports team to be sponsored by Razer.
That day, I can remember what I did, but prior to going up to it, I don't remember any of it. I don't know if Sheldon called me or I received it from a text message or a DM or any of that. All I remember is this. The minute that Sheldon said, hey, the deal is done, arcade stick layout, how the layout should be Street Fighter 4 default instead of the Harap default, which was, I always said that I wasn't a big fan of the Harap default, but Type C was usually the default for most out of those fighting games at the time. I was geeked. I'm not gonna lie. I got in the car, and I play his music now. I wasn't a big fan of his music at the time, even though he's long gone. But I play the fuck out of Picture Me Rolling. And I am driving around God's green earth for at least 4 to 6 hours. Fill the tank up. And kept playing. And my whole purpose was just to listen to the last part of it. Of the Picture Me Rolling. Is when Tupac was like, oh yeah, the DA. I told you when I get home it's on. All I kept thinking of was, hey yo Chauncey, man, you talk too much about video games. Video games ain't gonna do shit. Well, look at me now, bitch. You can suck my...
So, the deal is done. We're getting our Razer products. We get the arcade sticks.
This is what I pleasantly surprised walked into. Got these sticks.
Boy D-Dog here. I'm gonna give you guys my little awesome review. Comes in like a little black little cover case. Right there. It cuts on. I'm gonna do that later. So once you open this stick up, you hit this button.
Looks like extra buttons, bat top, nice wiring, plenty of space.
And we also get headphones, and I think we got a couple mouse pads, but anywho, and then also we get assigned to us our handler. Everybody who's on Team Razer gets a handler or a liaison to Razer, and we work out pretty much how to promote the Razer brand as well as the TFA brand and come together as a unit. Then we hooked up with GameJerseys.com, and that's when we got these wonderful jerseys. Oh my God, they're so comfortable.
That's all I kept thinking. I was thinking about everybody who dissed me, who said video games ain't gonna do shit for me, that I talk too much about video games. All I care about video games. I don't give a shit about none besides video games. Fuck. That's all I care about. I did not care. And I kept playing fucking Picture Me Rolling over and over and over.
We were sitting back and we was thinking, okay, we're going to get respected now. We're going to get respected now because, what we did and how hard we worked. People going, be open arms and, accept us. Like, that's good, that's good shot, good shit, the truth is further. That wasn't further from the truth, man.
All right, so it's gonna be Banana Ken's gonna be player 1, PR Balrog is gonna be player 2.
Both playing their respective characters.
Yep. Let's go. Round number 1. PR Balrog not wearing the head crunch today. Supplied by the good folks at Mad Cats Inc.
When we announced publicly who we were sponsored by, my eyes was open. I saw who was our friends and who wasn't. It was so many people that hated the fact that we got sponsored by Team Razor in the fighting game community. I was shocked. I was livid as well, but I was shocked and appalled by how many people that would smile and laugh and congratulate me or give me dap, then suddenly give me side eyes and try to stab me in my back and try to destroy what I built. From what I've built, I mean, it was pure jealousy. You can ask any of my former players. You can ask any players that I was cool with that wasn't ever on my team. It was straight up sheer jealousy, and I don't care what nobody says. It's been 10, 15 years, and I can say it vividly. FGC, they showed their true skins and their true selves in 2011 through 2012 when we were sponsored by Team Razor. I mean, it was to the point where they wouldn't even announce our name when our players was playing on stream.
Those people, and kind of, get out in your community. Really just get to know people.
And that's the other brilliant thing about it. Everybody who I ever talked to about Evo, like after Sunday night's over. All right, so Shen, of course, going with Gen. He had defeated Daigo Umehara at the Southeast Major.
Guys, some people do that. Yeah, like I've never seen him mess up a single dash.
But I don't think so. I think he just comes from that, from Smash Bros, where wave dashing was pretty.
All right, so here we go. It's going to be GGA Dizzy versus Pig of the Hut. GGA Dizzy versus Pig of the Hut.
You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even announce our name. And then it got to the point where they would even announce TFA. It was like, they'll just say Razor. You know what I'm saying? Well, when I would question them, when I would question the streamers who were streaming the tournament, and when my players playing, I would go up to the booth and be like, "Why are you not saying TFA Razor? Why are you not saying that?" It's like, "Well, it's not my place." No, it's up to the TO. I'm cool with the TO. No, you're doing this on purpose, and they know who they are. They know who they are. They know exactly who they are, and there's no ill will. I'm just saying, at that time, y'all know what y'all was doing. It was just the hatred, the pure hatred. I still have the screenshots. I still have the documentations of and tweets of people, well-known people within the fighting game community, saying stuff like, "Who are these guys? They don't even travel to tournaments. How the hell did they get sponsored by Razor? What are they doing? These are nobodies. How can they get sponsored by Razor, and I didn't get sponsored by Razor?" And see, there lies the problem. What I was facing then in 2011 is the same thing that is showing its ugly head in today, right now, with Apex Legends.
Because man, it is unbelievable how immature and unprofessional this scene is as an entirety, and it's from both ends. It's from both ends. As I was saying, dude, the pro Apex scene, it is unbelievable how entitled some people are.
And like now, what you just saw, I'm going to tell you what I said back then on various podcasts, on the On Blast Show podcast, on my own podcast, on every podcast when I was doing interviews. I was like, just because you're a pro player, just because you're good on the sticks, doesn't give you the self-entitlement thinking that you're going to get sponsored. You have to work just as hard on your brand and your identity as you do for practicing to go to tournaments. You have to build your brand. You can't afford a team that controls your social media. You can't afford a team to do that. So it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? It's you. It's your dream. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad at me because I took the time and saw potential with my team and went out every day you know what I'm saying, and worked on trying to get the players the best, get the best ability, get the best sponsors for my players. I did that. I had to work just as hard. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just amazing me how people that just because they're good, you know, just because they get top 8 at their locals or top 8 at their regionals and probably get top 16 at a major, that you know, that they deserve to be sponsored. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. We took that as motivation. People in the FGC that was coming after us and not trying to show us respect. So we took it as motivation, and then I came up with the saying, and I was like, look, we just got to win. We just got to win, because winners get respected, losers get neglected. And for a while, it was working, and then it was working until it wasn't.
I'm going to be blunt with you. We didn't do enough. We didn't do enough. For the Fighters Alliance, that's with grabbing sponsors, we didn't market enough. There's a reason why deals didn't move. We wasn't pushing that shit. We was like most rappers. We got the contracts and we didn't say shit after that.
We did nothing with it, actually. Unfortunately, it was a fight every day with my players. Like, listen, put up content on your page. Put up content on the Fighters Alliance YouTube channel. We have to put in content. You want them to help you as far as get to these tournaments. You want to help them provide you with kits and whatnot. You want them to help us, but we're not helping them. And it was just an ongoing battle every day, as well as trying to get other sponsors.
Razor as a sponsorship. I think we had like 2 or 3 more other when I was with the group. But our biggest problem with that is that we'll get a promo code. Oh yeah, we had the eyeglasses group, but our problem was like straight up. Like there was times where like our code, if we used our code, it was like this amount off. But there was codes online that gave out more. So for this thing, we could have got better. Like we could have promoted that shit, but we did not promote the fuck out of them sponsors. Like if we would have promoted those sponsors, like hey, like when I realized, this is when I realized we didn't promote our sponsors good enough. Is when Fnatic. I don't care what anybody says. That man, nobody, you don't have to like Fnatic or anything, who, what, when, where. But when he was at UFGT World Tournament, I remember I didn't go to that tournament. And I don't know what happened. I think my daughter was born. I didn't go to the tournament, and I'm at the house, and whatever happened, when he was with PDP Afterglow, say a guy's playing a match and they're doing a combo and they drop the combo, he's like, oh man, that guy did a phenomenal. Oh, he dropped the combo. See, you wouldn't drop that combo if you would have bought an Afterglow controller. Use the promo code Fnatic. Now at checkout, get you a good deal. He was sponsoring. He was promoting the shit. He did it non-stop, to the point that they took him off the stream. We didn't not gonna lie to you. We didn't understand that at the time. We had the codes, we didn't use the codes. We didn't buy shit. Because we felt like, the majority of us players felt like we got the sponsorship and we should get that shit. You know, we didn't do nothing. So if we would have if we would have realized, like, if we would have had our mindset, like, if I had that mindset now, like how Fnatic did that, I would have been pushing the fuck out of this shit. Like, yo, use promo code TFA to get on at checkout and get 20% off of any item that you see in the store. Shut down. Or be like, hey, that guy's using a mechanical keyboard. Hey, that mechanical keyboard ain't good enough. Use a Razer product. Go to Razer, call to Razer.com. Use promo code TFA at checkout. Tell them Chauncey True Talent sent you out there. Put them in the cold. I've been doing all types of stuff like that. Hey, you got this, and that. Don't worry about that, man. Make sure you use promo code TFA. Make sure that boy Chauncey True Talent sent your ass. If Chauncey True Talent didn't send you, that means that somebody else put you on the Chauncey True Talent promo code at TFA. Thank you. But we didn't do none of that. That was our problem with the sponsorship. Sponsors thought the sponsors looked out. The sponsors scratched our backs. We didn't scratch our sponsors' back. That's it. That was our biggest problem. We didn't scratch their backs. They scratched ours, but we didn't scratch theirs. And that's the problem. We thought that because we made it, we thought we didn't have to do nothing. And that was the biggest downfall with almost every sponsor that we had.
It was a lot of work, bro. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work during this time. During 2000, from 2010 all the way to 2015, it was a lot of work. I was also a competitor. I wanted to play, but I was like, look, you got to sacrifice. You cannot be a competitor. You cannot be a master of 5 houses. And at that time, I was a master of 5 to 6 houses. I wanted to be a competitor, so I would have try to train to participate in these tournaments. On the back end, a managing director of an esports company, trying to find sponsor, trying to network. So when I go to a tournament, I'm really, trying to play, but at the same time trying to network. And then at the same time, since you're managing director, everybody, all the players, divas, they're here, they're there, they're here, they're there. So, people got a direct line to me. My phone going off constantly. Like, yes, you do know, oh my God, Andre is in pool 5 and he's supposed to be playing in the next 15 minutes. He's nowhere to be found. The phone playing up, weapons left. He is playing in Injustice right now, but he's also in Street Fighter 4 pool. And can you let him know when he's done with his matches in Injustice that he needs to immediately run on the other side of the room to do his matches in his pool? Have you seen Perfect Legend? Do you know where Perfect Legend is? Oh, Perfect Legends is doing an interview with Gatorade. He'll be right there in a moment. No, he needs to be playing right now. Okay, I will text him to let him know that his match is coming up. Oh, he just said, can you push his match back? No, we cannot push his match back. Okay, bring your phone ringing again. Oh, do you know where Antoine Ortiz is? No, I don't know where Antoine Ortiz is. He's not even on my team anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. Ring D-Dog. Hey, yo, you want something to eat? Hold on, Daryl. I'll be there in a minute. Bring, this is normal for me. Okay, so there's that. And then on top of all of that, FGC is not really paying any money, so I still have a full-time job. So, and then on top of that, I am a loving husband, meaning I have a wife and I have children, school age. You know what I'm saying? Why is Daddy not coming to my play? Oh, he's in Chicago, Frosty Frostings. He's doing, he's at a tournament with his players. Oh, he said he'll be there soon. Okay. Hey, is Dad home? It's Sunday. He always read me bedtime stories. No, Dad is in Georgia at final round. Oh, okay. He'll be back Monday night though. Car breaks down. Be back Tuesday night. Stuff like that. That actually happened. And so it was like I said, it was fun, but it was a lot of work. It was so much to the point that in 2014, I was sick. I was really sick. Ulcers, everything, just really bad. It was really bad. And so then after 2013 going into 2014, I was like, look, I can't be like this for everybody anymore. I got to focus on my health because this is literally almost killing me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Final round. Fight.
2016, Street Fighter 5 came out, and this time it's like bittersweet. I still like the fighting game community. I went to EVO 2016. I've been to 2013, 2014, 2016, 2023. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 times EVO. But in 2016, I'm going to EVO. I have players there, but my primary focus is on me having fun. So I'm going there. I was like, my wife was like, you go there, you go. I was like, I'm not stressing out. I've already overcome my illness. I'm feeling better, feeling good on medication. I'm going for me. I'm going to play. I'm playing as Alex in Street Fighter 5. 2016, I had fun at EVO. Fighting game, but with that being said, why I say it's bittersweet, because in 2016, I was falling out of love of not just the fighting game community, but fighting games in general. Street Fighter V was just, once they came out with season 2 after season 1, and they totally just destroyed Alex and Ryu, I was like, I don't feel like playing this anymore. And then I started playing Overwatch. Overwatch came out in 2016. I fell in love with Overwatch. Monster Hunter World was came out around then too.
Don't be caught. That shit just happened. What the fuck was that?
Started playing Monster Hunter Worlds. Destiny 2 was taking my time away.
Heavy ammo on the way. Double kill. 3 opponents down. Enemy captured Zone B. This is amazing.
Division 2. I started, falling in love with other games outside of fighting games, and so, with that being said, me being a managing director of the Fighters Alliance, it was shifting, and a lot of my players noticed it, and that's why Jody, he left. He was like, "Yeah, you ain't focused on fighting games. Let me get out of here." And then in 2017, same thing. By 2017, I was done with Street Fighter V. I was like, I am not playing this. I never really played Tekken. I was begging for Virtual Fighters to come out with a new game. Virtual Fighters was not coming out with a new game. I cannot stand Guilty Gear. So, what else to play? Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was falling by the wayside. I wasn't playing that. Street Fighter Cross Tekken was completely dead. So, I was like, dang, this is it. I'm not playing any fighting games anymore. And then 2018 came around. I mean, Arcade Edition came out for Street Fighter V, but at that time I was completely just done with Street Fighter V. Done. I didn't even boot it up. Dragon Ball Fighter Z got me back into fighting games though. That came out in 2018. That got me I was like, man, they going to a 2D fighting game. Of course, my team is Piccolo, Trunks, and Adult Gohan. Love that part. I love that game. You know what I'm saying? I was playing. It got me in fighting games. It slightly got me away from Overwatch, but not as much, you know what I'm saying? But I was just playing. But by then, in 2018, so from 2010 to 2018, I say we had a good run as far as the Fighters Alliance, and it fizzled. We didn't announce that we stopped being an esports company. Everybody started going their separate ways. I mean, there was just me and Daryl, D-Dog, and Jeremy Luger. It was us three. We still was wearing the banner, so to speak, and we were still going to tournaments. But everybody else was just like, we're good. You're not serious about fighting games anymore. And so from 2010 to 2018, actually 2008 to 2018, that decade, as far as fighting games, it was fun.
2008 to 2018, I'm not gonna lie to you, FGC sucks ass. Though I love the play ball, I love the tournament organizer and all that stuff, but FGC is just like pro wrestling fans and gamers. We're the brokest, the cheapest people. We complain about everything. We don't have time to figure it out. The FGC, I ain't gonna lie, I would not have this amazing amount of friends if it wasn't for the FGC. The FGC have done so much for me with getting access to games early, being part of events, getting media kits, all types of stuff. No cap on that. But as an FGC from 2008 to 2018, things happened where we got too big for ourselves.
I feel like I added or contribute to it as best as I could, and it was enjoyable. I liked it. So it was very stressful, very time consuming, but I learned a lot within that decade of fighting games. 2008 up to 2018 was just phenomenal.
The problem with the FGC during that time frame is that people was getting told certain things. Triforce was telling the whole community, hey guys, you need to stick together. You want these grassroots things, y'all need to work together. Stop being individuals.
What about now? What about now, 2025? What do you feel about the fighting game community now? Now, I don't know, man. It's so many. It can go so many ways.
Corporations involved now, and things is fucked now.
Street Fighter 6 came out, and it didn't have the like Street Fighter 4 did when it came out in 2008, but it was still there.
So fucked up now that games are in easy mode and auto combos is like the way to go.
Tournaments that I look forward to going to are no longer existent. I mean, Power Up is no longer there. Final Round is no longer around. NEC is no longer around. Summer Jam, NorCal Regionals, SoCal Regionals. I mean, it's starting to become more commercial. You know, Evo was like the premier fighting game tournament to go to. It just was. I mean, it was our Super Bowl, our WrestleMania. We look forward to it each and every year to go to Evo. Now there's 4 different Evos. Evo's not even a premier tournament like it used to be. Now it's EWC. And my take of EWC is it's all about the bag. You know what I'm saying? All that money that's been pumped into the EWC championships, and that further brings more suits, aka esports teams, into the fighting game community, and they're going to be, you know, pilfering and pillaging players just so they can get a taste at the 9-figure, 10-figure bag that's the EWC. And then when they don't get the EWC, then they drop those players. That's what's going to happen to the fighting game community. Fighting game community, these teams are going to come in and be like, I want you to play for my team X amount of years, and then we're going to give you a salary. And then, of course, players, you know, who come from nothing, seeing this, these chump change, be like, oh, yeah, I'm on a salary now. I'm getting X amount of money every monthly, and I'm at the team house, and I'm playing, I'm training, and this and that. And this, you know, you go to EWC, and you don't even make top 8. And then next thing you know, it's like, yeah, and then you're doing a sad, somber Twitch, and like, yeah, unfortunately, at this time, I had to leave XYZ because, well, they're a good company, and I appreciate what they've done for me. But back in your mind, you're like, dang, they hold me out.
Triforce tried to do. We tried to unite everybody before the corporates came in. And what happened? From 2008 to 2012, it was all grassroots. All grassroots. You can be on, like when the streaming started and everybody was cussing up a storm and doing whatever they want, saying whatever they wanted, it was all good.
A lot of people say the grassroots in the fighting game community is dead, and I can wholeheartedly agree.
When say 2013 to 14, when Street Fighter 5 dropped, it was over. There was no more cussing. Ain't nobody cussing on stream. Ain't nobody cussing on stream at a major event. You know why? Because the corpse came in. Ain't no underground, none of this, none of that. But what's good about it, I will say this, more people's watching, more people's involved than there was back then.
That's the future. Actually, that's not the future. That's the present. That's the present right now, you know. But I mean, when you get more money, comes more sacrifice. You become part of the machine. You have to. You can't be the grassroots community that you once was, especially when you have outsiders. I wouldn't say colonizers, but you have outsiders in your community, and they're bringing bags and bags of money. You have to sacrifice your originality and your idealism to get that bag. You understand what I'm saying?
People will show it, putting videos. Triforce realized, hey, we need a forum. We need all the TOs. We need to get together. Anybody that got any name or weight, we need to get together. He tried to talk to any and everybody because he knew that the FGC was going to a different way. He probably looked at it like the NBA or pro wrestling. Before, when there was all these territories in pro wrestling, you had the East, the South, you had the West, you had the Mid-Atlantic, you had down in Texas. He realized, hey, you guys got your stuff going over there, but we need to work together. The NWA is there, but there's a guy that's trying to unite everything, have everything in a certain way. That's how he looked at it. He said, we don't want corporate, we want the corporate money, but we don't want the corporations involved with this. Only we want the money, and we'll sponsor this and that. Corporations involved now, and things fuck now.
Like, don't take my word for it. Look at the hip hop community. Look at the rock and roll community. I mean, look at regular sports. Look at all the sports. Look at skating. Look at skateboarding in the 70s and compared it to when it became mainstream in the 90s with ESPN-X. It happens. It always happens. It always happens. Fighting game, and look at wrestling. You know, look at the comedian circuit, you know, the chitlin circuit, you know, stand-up comedians, you know, especially in particular black comedians when they do the chitlin circuit. And then when the money came in the 90s, and you had Def Comedy Jam, you had Comic View, you know, look, it always happens. It always happens. And people just, they forego their originality and their soul, so to speak, to get the almighty dollar. FGC is not that special. It's the same thing. It's going to happen. It's going to, if not, it's happening now. So, well, with that being said, what about me? What am I doing? Me, I'm not going to be that 40-year-old rapper who be like, man, I'm a dream. I'm going to be top 8, this and that. No, I'm going to play games. I like fighting games because at the end of the day, I'm still going to play fighting games because, you know, real talk, fighting games has saved me. A lot of people don't understand that, but fighting games have saved my life. And I will always and always have love for the fighting games, and especially the fighting game community. Yeah, the fighting games can lose its way, but I will always be there for the fighting games, especially the fighting game community, and I've always have been. And I will always play. I will always stream it. I will always play games on it. I will always create content for it because, like I said, growing up on the east side of Detroit in 48235 zip code, it was harsh during the gangster rap era while everybody else was trying to be hard or trying to, you know, survive the crack epidemic and, you know, boys in the hood, minister society, and everybody want to be G's and everybody want to be gangster. I was in an arcade and, you know, fighting games saved my life. Stopped me from going to jail, stopped me from going 6 feet under.
I don't know where the fuck I would have been coming up as a gamer, and as Wizards, being an arcade that we dwelled in, Wizards was the battlefield, and I'm sure every state has their own collective arcade that has a battlefield that has assembled some of the greatest names from the Wongs to the Chois to the Vi's and all that, you know.
And for that, I am forever eternally grateful. So I will always show my respect to the fighting game community. I will always show my respect to the fighting games. I guess that's a good note to leave it on. I'm about to cry. No, but I'll talk to you guys later. But yeah, that's how I feel. And I stick with it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you who took the time to watch this part and watch this video. And that's just my view on the fighting game community. From the beginning to when TFA started. To the end when, you know, to the end of the sponsorships. To now. It is what it is.
Won't you let the light shine through for you?